Right, I wanted to show you a great idea for Halloween that I've done for the kids. I've got some kids coming around on Halloween. In fact, they're a great idea if you love candles in your house but you don't want to have that flickering real flame. These are so easy to make. So basically my idea is to turn the porchway of my house into Harry Potter, like the Grand Hall. So I've got floating candles. So you can see I've made all these candles. Let me just take the large one and show you. So this is actually made out of paper, and I put a flickering tea light at the top, which you make the tension tight. And if you can do it out of toilet rolls, but it just doesn't look as good because you have to do sort of a V shape with the threads, whereas if you do it this way and you make the tension tight or taut enough, you can just put the clear thread through this little bit here. So there we go. Let me switch the lights off and let me see if you can see. So you can see you've got that flickering candle going on. So these are so easy to make. I got tea lights. So let me move those over there so then I can show you. So tea lights, you can get packs of all sorts, but you want to get the flickering one and you want to get the old-fashioned flame. So I prefer the yellower ones because I think the white lights look too white. But you can see at the top here, if I'm showing this correctly, you can actually pierce the top with a needle. Pierce it, and then you can hang it so it's hanging up from the ceiling with the clear thread so it looks like they're floating. You're also going to want to put bottoms on them, which I'm going to show you in just a moment. So I've got my cream coloured card, and I've got this card stock from Create and Craft, so you can go and get that from their website. So what you want to do, you also want a pair of scissors, you want a glue gun, which you can get from there. I've had this for years, you can see how tatty it is. You also want some glue sticks, and you want the tea lights, and you also want a little bit of glue. So now you can have this, so you can make this the length of this, but I want to just cut it down slightly. Now you can choose any way that you want to cut it down. Now if you want to be really good, then you're probably going to want to measure. I just took my scissors and I just cut. So I'm going to do slightly off center, and I'm going to cut it down middle like so. So here we go. So then I've cut that in, not half, you know what I mean. So I'm going to take the smaller one first of all, and a really good idea is to just curl it first, just to give it that curl. Okay, so it's just a little bit more curly. Then I take 2 tea lights, I curl it again, I stick a tea light in that end, and then I stick a tea light in that end, and I make it taut around, so you can see you've got one and the other. I then hold it in my hand and I release just that little bit there. I then take my glue and I glue down here, if you can see what I'm doing. I then glue down here, just slightly away from the end of the paper. And then I fold it over like so and stick it down. Now you still want your 2 candles at the end because you want to make sure you've got them at the right sort of level, if you will, the tautness. So let's stick that down. So you can see what I mean by you can use toilet rolls and you can use kitchen rolls, but they're a little bit wider than those tea lights. So you want to pull that tea light out and you can see that it's got taut, it's got tension there. So pull that one out, pull the end one out, and you've got kind of your toilet roll tube. But like I said, and also as well, if you have toilet roll, it's grey, so you're then going to have to go and use acrylic paints or spray paint to be able to spray it, so it's more expense. So I've now gone down this part here, and now I'm going to take my glue gun, which I've had switched on. I'm actually going to do it this side. So I always go down this line first of all, and so what I do is, this is the way you want to end it. You want the drip wax coming down here, so you start the drip wax from the bottom. So I do a little bit and then I pull it up, and then I do a little bit more, pull it up, a little bit more, and then you just go round the whole thing. It doesn't have to be neat because obviously dripping wax isn't neat, but this is what you do. So simple, yeah, it looks really effective. go. Can you see what I'm doing as I'm going round? Hopefully you can. I can't put the camera at a better angle because I'm in my dressing room at work. I need another glue stick. You probably get through one glue stick. I've done this with black card as well and it looks equally impressive. I'll put some more videos of what I've done for Halloween on here because I'm hoping to try and do a few more projects for the kids that are coming round. Here we go. So as messy as you want, but with those drips in so they look realistic. Can you see what I'm doing? Honestly, it's so easy to do. And I've done, for my porch, I'm doing around probably about 20 of them. Let's go up. Somebody might knock on my dressing room door in a minute. Here we go. You can hear him in the background, can't you? That's Mike come back to work. That's how easy that is. There we go. Can you see that? And then of course, once that glue has dried, you are then, oh hang on, glue gone down in a safe place. There was a scrap piece of paper, I know you can get those. There we go. Right, so I've got one I made earlier, because that one wants to dry now. I've got an industrial glue gun and I've got this cheap one. Now, I think you're better with cheap ones for this one. Industrial obviously is really good glue and sticks. This is good glue, but because it's a little bit, it's not as hot, it dries quicker, and therefore you can get to work on them a bit quicker. And obviously with the industrial, you really got to be careful with your fingers. If you touch that, it's not so bad. So you then take the actual candle, you can see, with candle in it. Now what you want to do now is you want to make a bottom. Now because I'm doing the black ones and they're just standing on the side, I don't need to do the bottoms, but because they're going to be hanging, you don't want that plain bit on the bottom. So what I do, really simply, just sweat my glue out to make sure, all I do is glue around here like, oh hang on, what was that with my glue? Ah, that's why it's got a big blob on the top. Doesn't help, does it? So all I do is glue round. Oh, for goodness sake, it always happens when I do a video. Hang on. Glue round. It's going to come squelching out in a minute, isn't it? So oh, there we go. It has done. Well done. So then you put it all round the bottom, like so. And then you take your cream. So can you see? And you take your cream card. And you stick it down like so. Now this glue that I'm using sticks really, really quickly. So you stick it like that, and then what you do is once that's stuck, you then cut around it as close to the card as you possibly can, and then that gives you the bottom of your candles. I'll just pop that there for it to dry and set. I don't think it's going to set in time before. Let's see if it does. And then you'll take your thread. So this is your finished candle with a bottom. Then you'll take your thread, you'll poke it through there, and then you'll hang, and it looks like the candles in Harry Potter. Now a lot of people, some people actually go and paint the wax, but I think that looks so realistic with the cream card, I haven't bothered. And also if you push this far enough in, because you don't want this out, because these tend to be white, whereas I wanted cream candles because that's what I always think it looks more effective. I don't know why, I just do. So the white I push in, so then you can't see the white top as much, and of course when they're hung up you won't, you're just going to be able to see the flame. But everybody said, oh my gosh, are those real candles? But they're not, they're just hot wax. And look how simple that is to make. Really cheap for you to do for the kids as well, and just hang them everywhere. When you hang them as well, best to use a drawing pin with a white back, so then you're not seeing it go into the ceiling. Or you could maybe use, I don't know how glue dots go on because I haven't tried it yet, but I am going to try it. So I'm just going to wait for that to dry. Let's see if I can cut round it. I don't know whether I can, because I don't know whether the glue's dried. It's quite quick drying glue, but let me see. And then I'm just going to cut around like so. So you can see that's stuck down, and then what I'm going to do is cut around the bottom like this, glue stuck there. It's going to get into my scissors. Oh, hang on. It's not stuck down properly. A little bit of glue there. Messy crafter I am. And there's your bottom. You can hang that up. Great idea. They're absolutely brilliant. Anyway, I will be showing you more as we approach Halloween, but just getting very, very, very excited for sorting all this out for the kids, because I'm sure they're going to absolutely love it. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a thumbs up. Bye.